Hello? Hi. Hey, Liz. Can you hear me?
Ah,
Hey there.
hello.
Hi. I'm sorry that took so long. My computer's old and so am I.
No, no,
Apologies for that.
no, you're okay. I was like, did I do something wrong? I figured it out.
Oh, good, good. How are you
We both,
doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. It's kind of snowy and gray where I am, so I'm just having kind of a lazy morning.
You're up in New York now, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Now you're touring, and I know you tour all different times of the year. Is it more of a challenge or logistically being on the road, say, like you're going to be on the road in Florida in March? Is it different being on the road in Florida in March versus, say, up in the Northeast in March? Are there different preparations you have to make?
I mean, not really. Because my band, the rest of my band is in Nashville. I just usually, I mean, I guess, yes, logistically, it's like a little bit more difficult because I need to either meet up with my band and rehearse or they meet up with me and rehearse, but it's really not like a big deal by any means. But yeah, since we're going to be in Florida, I will go to Nashville and we'll rehearse and then we'll start our tour from Nashville through Kentucky and
Hmm.
just doing the whole southeastern thing.
And it seems like there are a few stops I could see on the tour that I don't think you guys have been to before. I know, we're talking about today about the show in Jacksonville, and I remember seeing you guys at 1904. Which, when you were at 1904, a lot of cats in Jacksonville maybe weren't as familiar with your work at the time, but now that was 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago to the week, actually.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so it's different. What do you like about Florida, just in general?
It's warm and it's weird.
That's a perfect description.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The people are strange and it's fun. I mean, not everybody, but like, it's just it's a totally different animal. And we just haven't, I feel like a lot of bands don't usually tour through Florida because it's so huge
Yeah.
and it's kind of out of the way for the most part. I mean, depending on where you're based out of. But for me and my band, I mean, we've never really toured through Florida. So this is honestly like, I mean, I know that we have gone to like Tampa and Jacksonville, but this is really like the first time where I'm like, oh, like we're playing like a handful of shows in Florida.
Yeah, you're playing the High Dive, I believe, in Gainesville, which is great. That's where I went to college at, and I think Gainesville especially is going to love you. There's a lot of just so many great bands in Gainesville, and so many great female-led bands. Like I always say about Gainesville, the music scene there has been led almost exclusively by women since probably the late '80s or early '90s, which is kind of unique, I think, in America.
Yeah,
Um,
that's great.
Unfortunately, the best pizza place there, Leonardo's, closed just last
Did
year.
it?
So you'll be missing out on one little like essential part of the Gainesville experience.
Yeah, my drummer Ryan loves a slice, so he'll be disappointed by that. But
Oh, I love Ryan. He has one of my favorite faces. Like
yeah,
just seems like
he's got a
such a
beautiful
cool guy.
face,
Yes.
beautiful and expressive.
Hmm. Now with the new album, Hot Sass, got my copy right
There it is.
here. Um,
Nice.
did you do the graphic design and stuff on it? Like it's really, I mean, all your stuff is really looks really good, but this is it's such a gorgeous package with the poster and the inside notes and stuff.
Yeah, no, my manager Kara Marandino, she took that photo, and her and my old bass player Grant Prettyman,
Hmm.
they did the packaging for the
Oh,
record.
oh, cool. How's
So
Grant
they got
doing?
he's doing really well.
Good.
He's been living out in California and he's engaged to be married
Oh,
and
that's great.
I know. So he's doing really, really well. And yeah, I'm happy for him.
You know, with last time I saw you guys, well, yeah, it's 2019, 2020 maybe, but it was before the pandemic happened,
Yeah.
at the time you guys were touring like a lot. You were traveling a lot. Like people were really loving the stuff. Did it suck to like have that? Like you guys have the momentum back now, and you were continuing to create. But did it suck to just sort of have to like just stop all of a sudden without much warning?
Yeah. I mean, it's been hard for sure. I think from a standpoint of, I mean, definitely like momentum, but I mean, I think for me, and probably, I mean, I think for the guys in my band also, but I feel like for most musicians, we've all been hustling so hard for so long, and you work so hard to play shows and figure out how to play shows. And then when you start having a team around you that gets show, like all of a sudden you're able to play a lot of shows, and that's what you do, and you do it like 150 200 days a year. To just like stop is so shocking to the system, and for after doing it for so long too. So I think, I mean, it took me a really long time to adjust to just being still. And also for me, like it took a long time to adjust to being still in a different city, and just kind of trying to figure out how to make things work and when things were coming back, and to be comfortable with like not being able to plan anything. And I feel like this year definitely is different. I mean, we've been in pandemic land for like a couple of years now, so I feel like we all kind of have a grasp on how to do things in this new normal way. But yeah, I mean, I think just the sudden stop was really hard on me, and but it was also really good for me to figure out how to I mean, it's a constant thing to just be working on yourself, and I just never took the time to do that, and performing and being on the chase. I needed to take better care of myself. So that's what I've been working on for the last couple of years.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, with this, this whole situation kind of, it's like Eleanor Roosevelt used to say, women are like tea bags because you don't know how strong they are till you put them in hot water, and I kind of feel that way for all of us. This situation kind of, you face a challenge like this, like this thing coming in from outside, and there's really nothing you can do about the larger situation.
No.
I mean, as a Floridian, I'll tell you, we don't always have the healthiest coping mechanisms. And a lot of people kind of went off the deep end. I have some friends that literally lost their minds just from being shut in, and, like not being able to be around friends and family, and then just the loss and stuff. But a lot of folks I find, especially among creators, have managed to seize upon this as an opportunity for growth and improvement. Like, you're up in New York now, and I know you spent, I guess, most of the last decade in Nashville. Did you make the decision to go to New York before the pandemic, or did it?
Yeah, I moved out of Nashville November of 2019. And I went on tour and for the rest of the year. So I was kind of not living anywhere, but I basically went on tour and then made the record, and then moved into Brooklyn, and that was in the end of January or beginning of January of 2020. And I have been here. I've been here ever since.
And tell me, in your opinion, can you think of any ways in which the whole pandemic lockdown situation was a positive, like in terms of your music or personally? Like, have you been able to get some good things out of what was otherwise a negative situation?
Definitely. I mean, I just a lot of self growth. I think me moving to New York was a really big move for me of just pushing myself into just pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and then having to be still. Everything was new for me. To be still was new for me. To be in a new city was new for me. To not be around to be around many of my friends, or like not to be around my band. And I mean, obviously, like nobody could be around anybody for a while, but I mean, that was all new. And so, yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of solitude, but a lot of like really important introspective time for me. Like I said, of just working on myself. And
Mhm.
I think I've just grown immensely since living here, because I've had to grow. I've had
Mhm.
to. And I mean, I think during a lot of that time, I've just been trying to find some peace. And I think for me, that's been really like leaning into painting and drawing and just visual art, and also playing the piano. That's been a really
Oh,
important thing for me too.
oh, excellent. My friend Jessica said hello. She
Yeah,
loves your art. How long have you been doing art? Is
I mean,
that
I've been doing it my whole life. I just put it down for a long time until, I mean, the last like year that I lived in Nashville. So in 2019, my roommate Daniel Yoakum, he's an incredible artist and someone who's worked on music videos for me as well. And him and I, we started painting a lot together, and he was one to really like push me back into that world. He was really supportive, and it's like everything was right. Every move he's like, yes, that's great. And I feel like he was just very supportive, and
yeah.
it made me want to paint. And so yeah, I think that definitely pushed me back into it. But I've been doing it since I was a little kid.
Has you gotten good response to that? And more particularly, have you done any experiments with like, the whole NFT thing is very popular now. Have you taken the opportunity to play around with any of that stuff?
I mean, I definitely am interested in all of that. I can't fully grasp what it is. I don't understand necessarily. Like, I'm like an NFT. I don't know. I've
Yeah.
like looked into it and I see these images and I'm like, well, I see, it's like, I guess what I'm trying to figure out for an NFT is like, you see an image
Hmm.
and I can still like I can like take a picture of that image and have it on my phone. So I'm like, I don't understand what this NFT ownership means besides just like seeing maybe that it says owned by this person. And I'm like, well, what
Yeah.
is that? What does that even mean? I'm like, I
Yeah.
can still have this image in my phone. So who cares? But
Yeah.
also like, people are making a lot of money from it. So I'm like, how do I capitalize on this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like to think of myself as a pretty smart person by and large, but when it comes to the NFTs and the blockchain and all this, I have, my friend Sam, he's 23 and he's a self-made millionaire off of cryptocurrency. And, he sits there and he explains it to me. It's like, I'd be, I'd be better off reading like Stockhausen sheet music than trying to figure out how to go with this. I want to find
Yes,
someone that I can just be like, okay, here's some money. You take this and put it where it has to go, and then you give me money back. I don't need to know any details or
right.
anything.
I know maybe that's what we should start doing is just finding these young kids who know about all of this stuff. And then you're just like, take this
Mhm.
investment and turn it into millions and I'll give you a cut of it.
Yeah. I mean, God knows you're in the right place for that. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, going from Nashville to Brooklyn, both areas known as like kind of helping to incubate independent music in this country for years now. How cool has it been? No, number one, how cool is it for you to be in Brooklyn? But more importantly, how cool is it for Brooklyn to have you there?
I mean, I'm still trying to find my footing here, and it's definitely an intimidating place to be. But I mean, I love it. You have to open yourself, I think, to the city for it to open itself to you. And it's just a completely different pace than Nashville, and a different way of going about things. And but yeah, I mean, I definitely love it, and am learning to love it, and I hope that it loves me back.
Absolutely. The new album, I love all your stuff, and to me it all comes together in one big piece. But to an outside observer, one might say you compare like Hot Sass to Window Flowers. Some might say that of course, music always gets different from album to album, but I've heard people say it almost sounds like two different Liz Coopers, like Liz's twin sisters doing, like Batman, Bruce Wayne kind of thing.
Right.
And the aesthetic, sort of an aesthetic shift that's gone along with it. To what extent was that a conscious decision to, go in that direction, as opposed to just sort of a natural evolution that happens with artists?
I mean, I think I just completely immersed myself in this world to where it was completely natural. So nothing felt like it wasn't me. Everything was really organic, and everything happened. It wasn't like we need to be like this, or I need to do this. It was very me and what was happening in my life at the time. So yeah, I mean, it's been a really natural shift to me, and I know that it doesn't seem like that to other people, but I mean, to anyone who actually knows me, they're like, yeah, this makes sense. It just makes sense. And for people who are, I think, like shocked by the transition of like this music and of like this new version of myself, it's like I made Window Flowers and wrote Window Flowers when I was 20 and 21.
Wow.
I'm turning 30 this year, so it's just
happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, it's just a natural progression. I mean, it's just I am myself. I'm not going to make anything that's not myself. So if people don't resonate with it, then that's okay, but it's always going to be me.
Oh, I think it resonates, and the numbers don't lie. I've always said that like your style is the kind of thing that if you check it out once, like you're in there, and you see one show and you're making a point of going to see as many shows as you can. I remember last year, one of the fun things that I kind of liked about the pandemic era was the streaming concerts that so many artists were doing. And me and my friend Jess, we had like a little party at her place when you did the stream from somewhere in New York. Was it the Bowery?
Mercury Lounge.
Mercury Lounge. Yeah, we had a little party and watched it on the big screen, and it was fun to watch you play, as always. But it was so much fun watching people that had never seen you before check it out. Like it's I mean, as music fans, we take being fans as seriously as the musicians take being musicians. Just really nice. And speaking of being fans, I see you got a Sonic Youth shirt on. Just give me tell me a bit about Sonic Youth. That was one of, that was at the Dirty album, I think. Is that?
I actually can't even really tell you, to be honest, which is it makes me feel like I'm a poser or something, but I love their tones, and they're like not giving a fuck. I think it's really amazing interesting. I like Kim Gordon, and I just think that I don't know, they were just like a very different expression at the time, and
Yeah.
I like all of their noise that they do. It
Mhm.
inspires me.
Have you had a chance to hear the SYR Records things that they did? Like, because a lot of them did, like, I know Thurston and Lee Ronaldo and them did a bunch of stuff at the Knitting Factory in like the not late 90s, early 2000s, which was really huge and well, huge for me anyway. I don't know how many
Yeah.
they sold. I always liked Sonic Youth because they're like they could literally go from 30-minute freak out noise to just writing the sweetest ballads, you know,
Right.
and like do it like, with the,
Seamlessly.
see exactly. Yeah. And so I've always respected that a lot. You're a very good guitar player. I mean, yeah, I don't play guitar myself, but I've always enjoyed your guitar playing in it. From what I've read in the past, it's like you kind of like you got really good on it much faster than people usually do, I believe. And is how did that process happen? Are there, like, for aspiring, for say someone like me who's never played guitar, like what tips would you give to pick it up fast?
Um, I mean, it seems like a quick thing, but I worked really hard on it. I practiced
Mhm.
a lot, but I also, I made it fun for myself. I just think about like the beginning of, like, I think there were different sections and different times of like pushing myself that like really maybe like progressed my playing in different ways. But like when I was first learning, it was just looking up, like finding songs that I really loved, and then
Mhm.
like be able to look them up online. I also, my ear is really, I can hear something and play it for like, which is it's an amazing, it's just it's unexplainable. A lot of people don't have that, but like, yeah, if I hear something, I can play it on the piano or I can play it on the guitar and
Oh.
generally know where I am.
Mhm.
But I mean, that takes a lot of practice also, I think. And but yeah, I mean, I just would look stuff up online and I would learn how to play it. And then that made me so excited to be able to play something that I loved that I would just keep going. And then I think from there I started writing. And then, when I started wanting to like tour with a band, that was like the next shift of like playing these bar gigs for 3 hours where you're like,
Mhm.
well, we have a lot of time to fill and like we don't have that many songs. So you just kind of mess around and I learned to jam, and luckily it was me, and at the time it was Grant Prettyman and Kai Baker, and the three of us are very musical players, and so I think we just played off of each other and learned
Mhm.
how to play with each other, and it made us better musicians. And then yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, everybody's different with how they learn, but I think I just kind of threw myself into the fire and I learned.
Is there is there a set process by which you go about songwriting? Do you start with the melody, or do you start with the lyrics, or does it just depend on the individual song?
It just depends on the song and it depends on the time. I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to write like the last month, and it's been definitely different and harder than I remember, because it's been a long time
Mm-hmm.
since I've written. And I think it's just kind of like being open to different processes and being like, oh, well, like this is how I've always done it, or like this is how I did it for the last thing. Why isn't this working?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I'm still learning is that like it's just going to be different than the last album and the last process. So I think it's just being open and malleable to um accepting new ways of doing things, and not just like I I don't know, just like doing the same thing over and over, which produces the same art. So it makes sense to do things in a new ways to make different things.
Mhm. I saw that you were selling the Gibson the other day. I saw that on the Instagram. I'm sure that's already out the door at this point. But
Oh, it's
oh no,
no, it's not.
oh
I need it. I need it out the door. But
I've been reaching out to my mafia contacts to see if I could get a loan. Like get a nice like 25% interest rate. So if so, if the fellas call back, I'll let you know. What's the what's the next what's the next piece of equipment that you're looking forward to picking up? Is there a particular pedal or a particular thing?
I mean, I don't, I've been really trying to like embrace recording.
Mhm.
And so I think that there are certain things for that I'm interested in, but I'm also like, yeah, I mean, I would love a synth, some sort of synthesizer. They're really fun. And yeah, yesterday I walked to Guitar Center and I just like played around on these synths for like an hour, and that was really fun. But yeah, I don't know, I would say some sort of synth, or like I would love a bass.
Mhm.
uh yeah, just different things to write on.
Oh yeah. My friend Vita Kills out in California. She's selling right now. Was an Akai drum machine, I believe. That like
Yeah.
it had been passed. She was like, DJ Shadow used it for a little while. Dr. Dre used it for a little while. Kanye used it for a little while.
Whoa.
I used it for a little while. Now I'm selling it, and it's like 550. So then I'm calling my mafia people back again. It's like, okay, double the order. I need a little bit extra. You know, it's like, I'll pick a pinky. Can't have both pinkies, but you can take one.
Right.
It's a down payment. I know a lot of guitar players get really, really specific about their strings and their guitar picks and things like that. Are you one of those types? Do you have like a specific go-to rig that you
I'm
prefer?
wondering, I was looking for I just have a yellow guitar pick. Oh yeah, these are the only things that I'm very specific about. These Dunlop,
Yeah.
the yellow kind. It's like a medium, I think, medium guitar pick.
Mhm.
I'm not specific with my strings. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing super specific. I feel like it's more so superstitious. I'm more superstitious with like things when I'm about to play live, with like how things are set up and organized,
Mhm.
neat. But yeah, besides that, I mean, I'm not super specific.
Are you still off the cigarettes? Have you kept away?
Yeah, I don't smoke. I don't smoke.
I remember at the streaming show you had the nicotine free cigarettes, which was interesting. I never knew anything like that existed, which was so that was an education.
Yeah, one of my friends gave me a bunch of packs. It's like a movie thing. Like I feel like a lot of actors smoke those if they're not
Yeah.
cigarettes. But also, I don't know. I don't know how all of that stuff works.
Yeah, me neither.
But
What's your favorite thing that you've eaten so far this year? And also like what's your go-to as far as, do you have specific things you like to eat or drink,
yeah, I feel like I'm very health conscious. I don't know. I'm a vegan-ish person. So I make a lot of smoothies. I eat a lot of vegetables. But my favorite thing that I've eaten this year, oh God. Probably what is this year? 2022, I guess. Yeah, we're just starting out the year.
Mm. Or it could also be your favorite thing from last year as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a crazy foodie, I
Mm.
guess. Thing maybe dumplings. I had some dumplings,
Oh.
veg dumplings that were really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of those. I love the dumplings. I love pasta. I love eating like
Oh, yeah.
really good pasta. Last night I had a slice of pizza, which was not vegan, but I needed it. And that was great. I was just walking. It was cold. I walked like 2 miles, like to and fro for one errand. And I was like near my house and I saw this pizza place and I just dipped in and got a slice of cheese. And it was great. It was thin and it was crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Perfect for a cold evening, or a cold day.
It was.
Looking forward to the next year or so, do you set, like when you're coming into a new year, like musically, do you set certain goals as far as like certain venues that you want to make sure to get booked in, or certain things you check off on your box, or do you kind of play it by ear, so to speak?
I mean, I think I've been kind of playing it by ear. I would love to go to Europe. I would love to play just overseas. I think that's something that, like, I don't know if that will happen this year, but that is something that, like, I really want to do. And I would love to open for, like, I don't know, just some bigger, like just bigger rock and roll artists. And I think that would be a really amazing thing. Like, I would love to play with Jack White. I think that'd be
oh yeah,
amazing. I don't know. Those are just the two things. Yeah, I'm trying not to like set too many goals. I feel like I was very, very oriented for most of my life, and I think it's just become like kind of unhealthy. So I'm like learning to let go.
Yeah.
And just kind of like do what I can control. And
that's something we've all learned over the last couple of years, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I'm taking it one day at a time, because that's just kind of that's all I can control.
Absolutely. We'll wrap it up in just a moment, but I want to, one more question. Actually, do you mind if I take a quick picture?
Let's go for it.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Our last question is, it's funny. I was telling my uncle that I was doing an interview today, and he's like, "Oh, who you're interviewing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm interviewing Liz Cooper," and he goes, "The golfer?" I'm like, "It's like she used to play golf." He's like, "No, there's a Liz Cooper that plays golf now." And I'm like, "Really? I had no idea."
So I had an interview like at some point when I was on tour last year, and someone was like, Liz Cooper, like there's a golfer. And I was like, that's funny. I'm like, I'm so glad that I veered. There's like, maybe this is like my like other, maybe it is my twin that has.
She played at some place. Well, she played in college at, she played someplace I think called Towson State back in the day.
He did.
I believe so.
That's where I played.
Hold on, I'm going to look that up. Hold on.
Because that would be crazy if that was the case.
I could be wrong. Let me be sure. Do you still play golf? Have you played in a while?
I haven't played for a while, but if I'm like in a situation where I need to play, then I play. I don't do it though. I would love to love it again, but I just don't. And that's okay. But it is really a meditative thing. So maybe it would be good for me.
Wow. Yeah, I can't figure out where she went to school, but I'll let you know about that. Do you think if you picked up a set of clubs right now, could you beat like the average golfer? Like
Yes.
the average weekend golfer?
Yeah. I still shoot in the 70s when I go out and play.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. What's your handicap?
I don't know right now, but when at my peak, I was a scratch golfer.
Oh, what does that mean?
Just I would shoot average like even par. So like
Hmm.
70, every course is different. So
Yeah,
the average would be like 72
72.
is like a perfect round.
Hmm.
Or whatever that means. So I would shoot around there.
Oh, excellent. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much for letting me talk to you today. This Cooper,
Yep.
Hot Sass out now. Gorgeous double vinyl. Everybody needs to get some. You're going to be in Jacksonville. You're going to be in Gainesville. You're going to be in Tampa with a bunch of baseball players, which will be fun.
I
Um,
know that.
and other spots, and also Athens and Charleston. So I'm looking forward to seeing you perform at least twice, if not 4 or 5 times. We'll see what fate allows. Thank you so much. You're my favorite artist, and it's a pleasure as
It's nice.
always. So good to see you.
All right. Well, have a nice day.
You too. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.